On Wednesday, the 22nd of February, we're going to be hosting a very special 12-hour live stream here on AFTV. We're going to be raising funds for the victims of the devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria. We're bringing together all your favorite programs, plus as well your favorite presenters on AFTV and also around the football community here on YouTube. All coming together to do this special 12-hour stream where we can raise as much funds as possible for those victims of that deadly earthquake. So join us on Wednesday, the 22nd of February from 12 p.m. till 12 a.m.
Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Welcome to the Tactical Insight Show. It's me and Graham. We're back, and this time we're back to discuss a win. It feels like a while, but it's really good to be back to discuss a really dramatic win as well.
Well, it was a great game of football, James, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic advert for the Premier League, and what an absolute roller coaster of a game. You were lucky enough to be there, mate.
I was lucky enough to be there.
As Lee Judges said, it was a fantastic game and a vital win for Arsenal. I mean, paraphrasing Mikel Arteta, he said after the game, our confidence is restored. There's belief in the team because you have to turn those sort of performances into results. That's what he said. Arsenal needed to win. They've been on a winless run of 3 games. We were unlucky against Brentford. Lee Mason obviously made that decision. It cost us 2 points. The game against Man City, we played well. We highlighted that last week, but the difference was in the 2 boxes. But Arsenal simply had to win. And, you know, there was good and bads in the performances. In the performance, we have to say that. But I have to say that they showed the character on Saturday of champions. The absolute character of champions. And losing 2-1 at the break, despite a lot of possession, Arteta sent them out early there, the group huddle, at the start of the second half, and they saved the season with an absolutely fantastic performance where they turned that possession into big chances and ultimately got over the line. Ironically, Emi Martinez, time wasting, gave us 6 minutes of added time. In that time, we scored 2 goals. And with City dropping points late in the day, we're back at the top of the table.
Isn't it amazing how quickly things in football change? You're so right to, because obviously we talk about it from the tactical perspective, we look at the numbers, but there's bits of insight there that you just dropped about Arsenal coming out early for that second half. A lot of people wouldn't have noticed it, but you're spot on. Me at the game, I noticed it as well. Wasn't going to mention it had you not brought up there. The players were out a good minute, maybe 90 seconds before the Villa players came out. They were ready, and I think they were sending a message of, let's get on with this because we want to prove a point. And I, in the stands, felt a little bit inspired by that. I was like, they look like they want to make a point here. And there was another moment where, after we conceded the first goal, there was a bit of back and forth between Zinchenko and Ramsdale verbally probably about something tactical, about where the ball went or what they did, blah, blah, blah. The minute Saka equalised, there was a big embrace between the two. And so I felt there was a lot of Arsenal ironing out things mid-game and understanding, you know, things going wrong, lots of communication, coming out early in the second half, the little things that I think, just a little glimpse into the right mentality this Arsenal team have.
My view was, I thought the first half we had a lot of possession. We literally had a lot of possession, but Villa didn't allow us to sort of make the most of it. We didn't really get into their box and create big chances. And that changed in the second half. So I think the team were motivated, knowing, right, the season's on the line now. We're on a winless run of 3 games. We're 2-1 down at half-time. We've dominated possession, and we've had a lot of touches up high around their penalty box. We aren't creating anything. We need to do better. You saw Zinchenko, once again, getting the team together and in that huddle. And I think a lot of messages were said, and I think the players reacted in the second half. And we're going to talk about the key players. Obviously, Jorginho coming in, fantastic performance by Jorginho. I still think the team is adjusting to the loss of Thomas Partey. I think we looked slightly unbalanced off the ball. There's a few issues there for me off the ball. But I thought ultimately on the ball, I think Martin Odegaard took the game by the scruff of the neck. And what I liked about him, and the character of him reflected in the character of the team, was the fact that he missed that big chance. He didn't let his head drop. He then ran the show for the last 20 minutes, and he created 7 big chances in that game, 2 key passes, and in the end, I thought he got us over the line. And it could. You are quite right. We talked this morning. Had he missed that chance, it ended 2-2, it would have been a different narrative. But there's fine margins in football. But I thought the character of the team came through. We showed the character of champions. We're not champions, but that was a real test of our mettle, and we came through.
Completely agree. Let's have a look at the meat of the show. Let's look at the match stats. 5 out of 7 shots on target for Villa to our 6 out of 21 shots overall. We had 67% of the ball. We had, double, if not more, than double the amount of passes in the game, and a supremely higher XG. I mean, you can even take away the 0.99 XG value of Martinelli's goal, and we still blew them away on that.
I think this is enormous credit. We don't give enough credit to Arteta, the way he sets this team up. We play a very attacking formation, almost like a 2-3-5 or a 3-2-5. To dominate the ball. And that's reflected in the possession there. 67% possession, double possession, completed passes was double. And overall, at the end of the game, the expected goals was over 3. We got there in the end. Yeah. But there was a big difference between the first and the second half. I know we're going to touch on those numbers today.
Yeah, I agree. But we have to compare the two different halves before we do. The attack stats. Again, in favour of Arsenal, 72 final third entries, 66 deep touches, 16 zone 14 touches, and an 81% field tilt.
Look at that field tilt. Yeah, I can't remember it being as high as that for any game.
And they did have chances. Yeah. That's the thing, Villa. They did.
I thought in the first half, James, they had 2 attacks and scored 2 goals.
Well, sure. Second half, they were much better at counter. But you're right. We never deserved to be 2-1 down.
And we will talk today. We'll talk defensively today, and we look at these defensive numbers. No party, you notice, no interceptions. So look, the passes per defensive action was very close. The tackles, obviously, they made more tackles than us. But I thought the other part of the defensive side that we're going to talk about today is where we were slightly vulnerable. But I will say 2 things in that game. And one is Gabriel, an absolutely unbelievable tackle in the second half, went at 2-2. Yeah, and Aaron Ramsdale, an absolutely world-class save at 2-2 from Bailey. So defensively, I thought we weren't great because they didn't attack that much. But those key moments in the second half before we got over the line were absolutely key to doing that.
Completely agree. Now let's compare the halves, as you mentioned. So, I mean, the aggregate scores were 3-0 in the second half, and we lost the first half 2-1. Aggregate scores isn't the term, but you get what I'm trying to say. Here are the first half shots. 2 shots, first half stats. 2 shots, 0 big chances, 17 touches in the box, 68% possession. The only thing is the field tilt, really, but otherwise everything improved in the second half.
Yeah, it did, and I think the key to me is that we had the same touches in the final third in both halves. But it's what we created from the touches in the second half that we weren't creating in the first half. They kept us at arm's length in the first half. We didn't get much joy in their penalty box. We weren't creating. We were going. Jorginho was punching the ball really well through the thirds, and we were getting into some really good positions, but not opening them up, and they were keeping us away from the penalty box. Second half, I thought we passed it far quicker, James. We were much quicker, much crisper in our passing. I thought the right-hand side was far better structured in the second half with Odegaard, Saka and White, those 3 lanes, 3 separate lanes up high, with Jorginho sort of passing out really well through the lines into that area. And we got at them second half, and we opened them up. And so we got, if you look at it, the key stat for me then is same sort of touches in the final third in both halves, but look at the different touches within 25 yards of goal, the second half compared to the first half. That showed me that we were better at creating the second half, making the most of the possession up high, moving the ball quicker, and moving their defenders around and creating holes for our players to play through. And that was the difference for me second half.
Yeah, and Arsenal did a lot of probing, didn't they, in the first half? Yeah. A lot of, kind of nice moments that didn't really amount to much, and Saka gets the goal, and it felt like, okay, right, Arsenal kick into gear now, but then they still struggled to sort of build on that momentum. Second half, there was a much better relentlessness about Arsenal.
I thought we dominated the whole second half, James.
Oh, well, completely we did.
And they had their 2 moments on the break. They're always going to have moments. This is the teams then?
I just wanted to talk about the shapes, because what surprised me was that Emery went with... Buendia would sort of be out left, but he went with Coutinho left and Buendia behind Watkins. And Watkins was always the outlet. He was sort of basically playing on, waiting for any sort of long ball. He gets out with the goal. I'm surprised he went for that rather than Bailey and Watkins, to see if maybe then Bailey on Gabriel could do a similar thing. But they were very compact as well. They've essentially got 5 centrally, or 6 players that prefer to play centrally. Struggling with my words today, sorry everyone. Rather than having an out-and-out winger or something like that, but that tends to be the Emery blueprint. And they were quite compact. Arsenal did bring in Trossard and White. I thought Trossard had a really good game. He was quite isolated for a lot of the game. I thought what he did really well was when he did draw players in, the switch to Saka, he got that right a lot, and I thought that was really good. White came in, and I think basically, it was 5 minutes before he came off. I thought he struggled, but otherwise, for a lot of the game, did quite well. But it was interesting seeing Arteta mix it up.
Yeah, I think for the points that I noticed in the game, I've noticed now in teams now, Emery setting teams up, his team up, very much our teams are setting up to play us now. They want to condense this middle of the pitch. That's why he's gone with 4 there.
Yeah.
And the aim really is to sort of stop us from creating through the middle. And when we get our players out wide, they just want to smash us out wide. They want to stop us playing out wide. So Saka continually fouled out wide, not getting the protection of the referee.
True, yeah.
Just smack us out wide, stop us in wide areas. And then when we go through the centre of the pitch, they make it as difficult as possible, with the 4 players there. So it's like a very narrow 4-4-2. So if you bring the players up high, move Odegaard, if he's willing to move for you, and Xhaka up there. And then you've got Jorginho. He's not moving for me now.
There you go, up the pitch.
So Jorginho in there. And then obviously Ben White coming up here.
Yeah.
And then we've got like Zinchenko coming in here. So we got like our 2-3-5 there. But if you look at it, the key here is that they're congesting the space centrally. And then when we get it out wide, they've got players in position and they're just smashing the wide players now. It's a constant theme. Referees really have got to sort of like, be aware of what they're doing to Arsenal.
The media are talking about it.
It's becoming a big talking point now. And particularly Bukayo Saka, who was fouled almost like repeatedly in that game. And of course, he reacted on one of the, quite rightly so. He needs to, I think Thierry Henry made a point, you've got to start manning up a bit to some of these challenges. And but that's the theme for me. So that was the shape that they went with. I think very early on they caught us out when, and we're going to talk today about the goals we conceded, I know, when Watkins spun in here and Zinchenko loses the ball here. Now, Jorginho, I'd say, on that goal, he's come forward, right? And this is my only worry about Jorginho in this position, right? Because off the ball, he can't get there quickly to engage in 50-50 duels in the way that Partey does. He hasn't got that speed, pace. As brilliant as he is and as good as he was on Saturday, and I think this is going to put a real strain on our centre-backs. He was so used to Partey winning some of those 50-50 balls. So when Watkins gets it out wide there, and I think Saliba should defend that slightly better, but they've opened us up and they've literally got a 1v1. And I know we're going to talk about Saliba's defending on that instance, but...
You know what, we may as well do it now. We were going to do it later in the show, but let's touch on it. Let's give Watkins a football. Here he is. And let's talk about it, because here's my issue with it. So the ball's come over the top from that's Watkins. From Matty Cash. The ball's come over the top.
Zinchenko's lost the ball, so that's the first error.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jorginho's trying to get forward, isn't he? He's trying to get up the pitch, so he gets taken out of the game.
I'll be honest, I didn't follow Jorginho as much with that. I was looking at Saliba, and Watkins takes a bad touch that actually takes him in this direction. But Saliba actually allows him the time to recover, stand him up, and then run him, and he takes him into this channel. And the thing that frustrates me from Saliba's perspective is that's not what he was doing earlier in the season. So I think it's a confidence thing. We were sort of debating where it's gone wrong. I think it's a confidence thing because Saliba would normally engage, and then the rest of the game, I think, learnt from that and went, what am I doing? I can win this duel, and started to take it to him.
Yeah, he didn't engage with him, did he? He allowed him to dominate that action. It was a great bit of skill and a fantastic finish, but he didn't get close enough to him. Needed to force him away from goal, and he didn't engage with him. He allowed him to sort of get the better of that duel, and that's what the problem was there. But I just feel at the moment is just moving away. Jorginho, as great as he is, if Thomas Partey was there, I'm not saying he would have cut the ball out, but I think that I just think this is an issue I think we need to debate. I thought we looked very unbalanced off the ball, and they sort of like played round us and through us, and that whereas Partey, when he's there, he wins a lot of those duels. He stops a lot of those passes, and I think that as good as Jorginho was on the ball, that for me could be a problem. I'm just wondering. We had this debate when we came in this morning. Should we be looking to give more support to Jorginho? Maybe playing maybe 3 defenders at the back. We had that sort of discussion.
Or Xhaka closer to him. Or
Xhaka closer in a period. I don't think he's going to do that. But look, I think that Saliba was better the second half. He was engaging with him better, but he allowed him to get the better of him there.
Interesting. Look, it's not every show that we're going to agree on everything. No. I didn't see too much issue with Jorginho in this goal. I did really love his involvement, obviously, in the winner. And I thought I'd spend some time breaking down not just the finish, but the whole move. I think this is a great move from Arsenal. I don't know if Cecil mentioned this in any of the videos he was on. I was next to Cecil in the stands. When Ramsdale has that ball, Cecil said something along the lines of, show me what you're about, Jorginho. Come and get that ball. And that's exactly what he does, because this is textbook Jorginho. I've highlighted him yellow for the first bit of the move. And I think the point I want to make in breaking down this goal is appreciating that, while I'm going to sound like a bit of a hypocrite, because I've said that I want to see Arteta be a bit more tactically flexible, try some different things. Can a Tierney overlap be an option? Can you get Trossard up front? Can you do something a little bit different to mix it up? The one thing I'll say in fairness is that this team is so unbelievably well coached, to the point where no matter what minute of the game, no matter the circumstances, how stressful the occasion, they're going to stick by their principles. Yeah. And whether I always agree with that or not, and listen, obviously I don't know half as much as any of these players or coaches do, you can only admire it when it does go right. And let me show you exactly what I mean here by that. So, the centre-back split, Ramsdale come forward, 93rd minute of the game, he's not hoofing it long. That ball comes in to Jorginho, who takes a touch. Okay, I'm going to pause it there. So, you've got your 2, and then we're going up, you've got your line of 5. Okay. 92nd, 93rd minute of the game, this. Now, this ball that Jorginho plays into Odegaard, he was playing all game, whether it was into Odegaard, into Saka.
It was zipping into him, wasn't it?
And then sometimes he was finding Tomiyasu White on the overlap as well. Sometimes he was pinging it beyond. He was connecting with that right-hand side so unbelievably well. It comes into Odegaard, who very quickly takes a touch, rolls it out to Saka, and then you've got him one-on-one. Now, Tomiyasu, well, actually not immediately, Saka pins him down, cuts back inside. Now, at this point, Saka rolls the ball into Odegaard. Odegaard gets it. Tomiyasu has gone for the overlap to stretch the other way. Now, I just want to pause it here for a second and show, this is what I mean by Arsenal being tactically brilliant. You've got, I've got the right one. You've got your 2, you've got your 3.
Yeah, and you've got your 5.
And you've got your 5. There they are. It's even in this moment of the game, Arsenal are just showing total and utter composure in the way they play, total and utter. By the way, I know you're looking at this going, yeah, but you've recreated this goal. I've honestly followed every player's position on the pitch to show you exactly where they stand. And it's unbelievable when you're watching it going, fair play to this team. They understand. Vieira, he makes a dart here, then he comes inside, Zinchenko comes forward. Tomiyasu goes for the overlap, Odegaard recognises that, sits back, and there's still that shield of 3 to play off. It's really, really impressive from Arsenal. And then you play it through, Odegaard out to Zinchenko, slotted in. It then goes wide to Martinelli. You've pinned the fullbacks down. At this point, Villa are panicking, and every player goes to the edge of the box by this player who, I think it's Duvan, what's his name? I forgot his name, the striker who came on, apologies, new signing. Came on, I think he's following Zinchenko to be fair, but everyone has had 8 players in the box at this point. Marte cuts inside, finds Jorginho, and then this is my favourite bit of the whole goal. You're just going to see it right there. Watch Martinez, off the crossbar, off his head and in. I had to recreate it. I'm sorry.
You know what,
you can't blame me. But fair play to them.
Yeah, it's a fantastic recreation, James.
Thank you. I spent a lot of time
I really enjoyed watching it.
Thank you. I had to.
And you are right. We stuck to our principles right to the dying minutes. And even then, you saw Jorginho was up high. We only had our 2v2 at the back. Even though we're still pushing for the win, sticking to our principles, which was great to see. Just one comment on Emi Martinez, the way he headed that in. I'm just thinking Eddie's going through a bit of lean spot at the moment with his heading. Maybe he needs a heading coach.
Maybe why not?
Sort of like, it was it's beautiful to see, wasn't it?
Do you know what? It was.
I must have watched it about 100 times.
I mean, it was just stunning. It really was. And I have to say, with the time wasting, as you mentioned, we get 2 late goals.
In a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really. Then he goes up the other end to try and fix it. Then we put it on empty net. I mean, there was so much to enjoy about those last couple of minutes. And the second half in general was brilliant from Arsenal. But hindsight's wonderful. If we hadn't scored that goal, which let's be honest, huge slice of luck in the way it went in, we'd be sitting here going, why are we not chucking it into the box? Why are we not taking risks? Why are we always trying to do the same things? But sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. And this is why I'm not necessarily crediting Arsenal for, like I said, fine margins, right?
Yeah.
What I am giving them immense credit for is sticking to principles and I think the fact that they're able to maintain that shape that late in the game and still go through the motions, keep trying to attack the way they were, I think shows real mental strength and an understanding of what they're trying to do. And I can only give them immense credit for their focus and understanding.
And I love the character of the team as well.
Yeah.
And that was embodied by Zinchenko.
Yeah.
His first ever goal in the Premier League. When he scored that goal, he was just, let's get back to the halfway line. He wasn't settling for a draw, was he?
Yeah.
We didn't settle for a draw. We carried on playing to win that game right up to the end. And just coming on to our fourth and final goal, when Martinez is out of position. I know we've had a debate this morning, should goalkeepers come up for corners and all that? But I was so pleased for Fabio Vieira, because when that breaks, he's the one who plays an absolute perfect pass.
It's a brilliant pass
in for Gabriel Martinelli. It looks like, the goalkeeper's out of position. They've just gifted Arsenal a goal. But the pass had to be perfect, James. And he celebrated the pass.
Yeah.
Even before Gabriel Martinelli.
As they got to Martinelli, he was just on the floor going crazy.
And he celebrated putting it in the net. But, in the end, I thought for the way we played that second half, when everything was on the line, I think you've got to give the team immense credit.
Oh, yeah, and the chances. Eddie hit the crossbar, Eddie then threw in behind, and it fared left. I think Martinez did quite well, but Eddie should do better, poor touch. You've got the Gabriel heading it over the crossbar from the free kick. You've got there was another big one, Odegaard,
the big
miss.
But the thing, before we go on to that, I thought the other part we haven't touched on, the second half, was our pressing.
Yeah.
I thought the pressing in the second half was really good.
Yeah.
Because we literally forced them back a lot for the whole of the second half.
True.
We started and we pressed to the error. Eddie Nketiah, who wasn't enjoying the best luck in front of goal, still had the presence of mind to press to get the turnover and set Odegaard up.
Yeah.
We were pressing really well second half.
We absolutely were. And Jorginho, who unfortunately won't be credited with the goal because it's an own goal from Martinez, does deserve a lot of credit for his numbers. An 89% pass completion rate. Didn't get any of the goals. It's so unfortunate, but he did play the full 90 minutes. And I'll let, this is your research. I'll let you take it away with some of these.
Well, look, I mean, they're exceptional numbers. He was first in a lot of these numbers that I sent you.
Yes, he was,
73 pass attempts.
79, actually.
79 pass attempt. 8
progressive passes.
8 deep completions. 7 final third entry passes. 6 long balls.
4 progressive
passes and 3 tackles. So it was a fantastic performance by Jorginho, and I'm not criticising him. I make this point clear today. I think he's a fantastic signing. I think he's a fantastic footballer. We almost got like a playmaker sitting at number 6.
Yeah, we do.
I just think that I'll just make that point. The team at the moment needs to adjust to Partey not being in the team. He can't replicate what Partey does, but what he does bring is class on the ball.
Completely agree. Odegaard with a 93% pass completion rate. No goals for him, but does get an assist.
I'll put the bins on this one.
Yeah,
so I won't make that mistake again. Look, this is we're going to mention in the closing stats. He created the most chances in a game for Arsenal since Mesut Ozil against Newcastle in 2017. 1 assist as well. 72 touches, 7 key passes, 4 ball recoveries, 3 ground duels won, 2 dribbles completed, 2 long balls, and that key assist. I thought he didn't let the moment get to him when he missed a big chance. That's what I loved about him.
Yeah.
He just carried on really driving the team forward, and he accepts responsibility. As much as he's a brilliant, silky footballer, he just works hard for the team. He just carries on playing. He doesn't let anything get to him. He showed real leadership quality.
Yeah, I'm going to come clean with everyone. So maybe there's no point even making this point, but I will for the sake of transparency, so everyone kind of knows what how we feel about. I didn't see the Odegaard performance everyone else saw.
Yeah.
Now that's not to say that I didn't think he was very good and that he improved massively. I think in my player rating I gave him a 6, but I was very quick to get in the comments. I went in the comments and said that was harsh. And Ramsdale I was harsh on as well. I gave them both 6s. They should be minimum 7, but most would argue 8 or 9s, and fair enough. With Odegaard, what I saw was a player who knitted everything brilliantly together, always there offering an option. The pass, move, the close control, superb. I didn't see, you mentioned 5 chances he created. I can remember 2. The Zinchenko one he scored, but then did he really create that chance? Or he passed it to him and he scored. But
that was an assist.
Yeah, but I mean, he's rolled it to him. It's a great goal from Zinchenko, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's not like Odegaard made that goal. But anyway, there's no need for me to be negative. But and then the Gabriel one's a really good ball. I think what I'm saying is, what I love about him is that he always demands the ball. He knits everything together so well. And what I mentioned about that Jorginho pass in the pocket of space, it's on Odegaard to understand the game and go, right, that midfielder's there, the centre-back's there, the left-back's there. I've got to take a really good first touch. There are a couple really nice passes. The one where he kind of just sort of rolled it into Saka and beyond. He really showed his class. I just didn't see the same performance as everyone else, but that's not to say that I didn't think he was very good.
I think he makes the game look so easy.
Yeah,
maybe you underestimate just how good he is.
I also think
he makes the right decision, James.
He does, yeah. He does.
And you know, I thought this was his best performance since the West Ham game. We absolutely.
That's why I make this point, because a lot of people said that.
He was absolutely exceptional in that game when the 3-3 draw. But I just think this was a really good performance by him, and I just think that he was the one who drove the team on. He always makes the right choice for me, and that's what great. Maybe I'm really good footballers do. You know, and he makes the game look easy. And I just think that second half he was absolutely crucial. And the thing I like about him is, when he made the mistake, he missed the open goal. Some players would have hid. He doesn't hide, does he? He doesn't hide.
It's a bad miss, and it happens. Yeah. It happens. I just think the fine margins in football are, we won that game, and everyone's talking about the unbelievable Odegaard performance. And right, okay, I didn't see the same, but a lot of people were, and that's fine. But the Tomiyasu era, because we lost that game, or the Gabriel era, you know, in the pass and the build-up, gets absolutely slaughtered because ultimately we didn't win that game. Yeah. Now, I just think errors are errors, and I will judge the performance regardless. That's not strictly true. Obviously, you've got to take the error into account, but I think we shouldn't be too hard on Gabriel and Tomiyasu, maybe as much as we were, and then we shouldn't completely ignore that miss from Odegaard either.
No, that's fine. I understand the point you're making. It's fair enough. I understand the point you're making. And football is a game of fine margins.
It really is, yeah.
But look at these numbers, James.
Yeah, no.
Look at the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves.
I know.
And I think that, you know, I take your point. It was a big miss. But I just like the character of the man. And I think this connection now between Jorginho and Odegaard. Jorginho was finding Odegaard with some real silky passes, zipping the ball through to him. And I think I like this combination already. I was purring on Saturday watching the combinations between them. I just thought everything goes through Odegaard up high, and he was the one who was making things happen on Saturday.
No, look, I love the guy to bits, and this is not me for 1 second saying that I didn't think he was good. I thought he was very good. Yeah. I'm not sure. It's that line you said there, his best performance since that West Ham away performance. Yeah. That's what I thought. I didn't see that, but that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Listen, it's a very good position to be in.
The other thing is, when the season's on the line, you know, that's
he stepped up.
We stepped up.
Never question his character or his willingness to get the ball and all that. I agree. Saka, no disputing from me how good this guy was. A goal, 83 touches, 3 dribbles completed, 3 ball recoveries. How many times we fouled, who knows? He's unbelievable. And I want to just go to a little bit of discussion that I saw on Twitter. I proudly present my research. When I've done research and I'm proud of it, or we've recreated a goal, I will sit here in all its glory. This is nothing to do with me. This is a discussion on Twitter, but I think it's great and I think it's worth bringing up. So, Chiddy at ChiddyAFC on Twitter, big Arsenal account. You know, you always see him chatting about Arsenal, giving his thoughts and reacting to goals, moments, all that. He made a point about Saka being on 9 goals, 8 assists, and Leroy Sané, around a similar age, if not older at this point, I think it was around the under-21s age, has got 10 goals and 15 assists in 17-18. Cristiano Ronaldo got 17 goals and 8 assists in the 06-07 season. So we're talking about 25 goal contributions. Saka's already on 17 goal contributions, and we're in, February? How many games there to go? 15, 16, something like that. And then that comes from at AFC Visuals, I believe it's their graphic as well, has Bukayo Saka as 20 years and 11 months and 0. Yeah, so 20 years and 11 months exactly, with 17 goal contributions. Youngest ever players with double figures for goal and assist in a single Premier League season, and Odegaard's in there as well. So it just shows how well these young players are doing, stepping up for Arsenal.
I think the biggest credit I can give him is that over the last few games, when our front 5 hasn't been working so well, he has. His performances in all those games have been really good.
Yeah.
He's been the one of our front 5 who's been on top of his game. The technique for the goal on Saturday, James, he made it look easy. You know, and I just think he took his goal really well. He is smashed every time he gets the ball now. And he just gets up and gets on with it. Tremendous character. I just love the way he plays the game. and he's developing into, you know, a world-class talent in my eyes.
Yeah, he's absolutely on course to be a world-class talent. Let's go through the match stats and end with a little reminder of the starting 11s and the players that went out.
Just before I do that, I'll just, on the defence issue, I just want to touch on that, the goals we conceded. The first goal, as I say, I didn't think we sort of defended it well one-on-one. Second goal, I thought that, you know, I look at the way that, you know, they played through us too easy in midfield. And again, that's a worry for me. There's a lack of understanding probably between Jorginho and Odegaard in the build-up. And then White makes a mistake that allows them to sort of like play round us. So I thought we made defensive errors on Saturday. But I just want to make the point also that when it was 2-2 on the line second half and the team responded, defensively we got better. And that was reflected in the fact that Saliba got better on Watkins, but also I want to give enormous credit to Gabriel for that tackle and to Ramsdale. He went under the radar for me. That Ramsdale save absolutely went under the radar.
You're right. I didn't give enough credit. I didn't.
And I think that, you know, I think you might want to revisit your mark on Ramsdale.
I'll give Ramsdale. I gave him a 6. I bumped that up to an 8 because the save was massive, and it ultimately is a huge part of why we win the game. On Odegaard, I'll go up to a 7.
Okay. Right, closing stats for this week then, James. Arsenal won a Premier League game. They were losing at half-time outside London for the first time since December 2009. When they
won is that right?
Yeah. And the last game they won outside London when they were losing at half-time was at Liverpool. That's the last time they won a game when they were losing at half-time. They beat Liverpool 2-1.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable stuff, isn't it? Arsenal have scored 15 goals in the opening 30 minutes of matches this season, the most of any team in the Premier League. Zinchenko scored his first goal in the Premier League in his 92nd appearance in the competition with what was his 74th shot. He is Arsenal's 13th different scorer this season in the Premier League, most of any team in the league.
And may I say, goals from distance, a theme of this, but also Arsenal clearly wanting to have shots, wanting to ask questions.
Yeah. So Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard created 7 chances for teammates, the most in the Premier League for Arsenal since Mesut Ozil created 8 against Newcastle in December 2017.
I mean, fair play. I can't remember some of them. But fair enough. No, look, honestly.
And just touching finally on the point you made about the brilliant Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is the first Arsenal player aged 21 or under to score double figures in consecutive seasons since a player back in my youth, who you probably heard of him, but it's before your time, Frank Stapleton.
Okay.
Who did it in 1976-77 and 77-78. He played in that 1979 Cup final when he scored from Liam Brady's cutback, and we beat Man United 3-2 with a goal in the last minute from no less than Alan Sunderland.
Well, there you go. A little bit of history for you as well. All right, that's been the Tactical Insight Show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know in the comment section your thoughts on players. We've had a little bit of debate around some. We broke down the goal. Let us know what you think. And where does this leave Arsenal? Because Man City dropping points at Forest has given us that edge we had, almost the same position we were in pre-World Cup. Isn't it amazing how quickly things change in football? But it's a long season to go. If there's one thing we've learned from the last 7 to 14 days, really, there's more twists and turns to come. So when it gets bad, let's not stress too much. But when it goes really well like now, let's not, go
let's
too far.
Let's enjoy it.
We've not even mentioned the title race either, because that's the thing. Let's just go game by game. That's where I am with it now. But well done, Arsenal. A massive win. 4-2 at Villa Park. Like the video. If you enjoyed the video, check out all the other content that came out today from Bar's Premier League Show, the live show on AFTV. And of course, check out the Tactical Insight Show. And we'll catch you very, very soon. We'll be previewing Leicester later in the week. Plenty more to come. Long way to go. Come on, Arsenal. Let's keep building.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.